Hello there, I'm Petey, your narrator for today, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's episode of Grammar Me Happy. Today, Penelope is having trouble understanding the corrections that she needs to be made on her latest essay. In her frustration, she decides to ask for Professor Penguin's assistance. Let's listen of what Professor Penguin has to say this week.
Professor Penguin, I don't understand the corrections we want to make on my essay. I don't understand what I did wrong.
Well, Penelope, you seem to be having trouble with possessive apostrophes. Let's look at your paper for an example. Okay, look at the first red marked sentence. It says, Petey's home is in the Antarctic. There needs to be an apostrophe before the S in Petey's, since it is showing that the Antarctic is Petey's home. This is an example of forming the possessive of a singular noun.
That's just for singular nouns. What do I need to do for plural nouns?
For plural nouns that already end in S, you put the apostrophe after the S, which indicates that something belongs to more than one person, place, or thing. For example, if you were to say, the penguins' homes are in the Antarctic.
Oh, I understand now. Is there ever a situation where I don't use an apostrophes at all?
Actually, there is, Penelope. When you use the word who in a possessive situation would be one example. It would be incorrect to use an apostrophe before or after an S in the word who. The proper way to make who possessive is to place an S and E at the end of who to make whose. An example of using whose would be if you were to say, whose home is in the Antarctic.
Okay, that makes sense.
There are also certain pronouns that can be used in place of possessive person, place, or thing. When writing in first person, you can use my or mine when writing about yourself and use our and ours to express possessions of more than one person or a group. An example of using our is saying, our homes are in the Antarctic, instead of saying, my and Petey's homes are in the Antarctic. When writing in second person, you can use your and yours. For example, you could say, the Antarctic is your home, or the home in the Antarctic is yours. When writing in the third person, you can use his, her, hers, and its in place of singular nouns, such as for a person's name. An example of this would be that you could say, this is his home, instead of saying, that is Petey's home. To take the place of a plural noun, such as a group, you can use their and theirs. You could say, the Antarctic is their home, instead of saying, the Antarctic is Petey and Penny's home.
Thank you, Professor Penguin. This really helped me on next week's essay.
I can't wait to read it.
Now, Penelope is ready for next week's essay. Tune in next week to find out what struggles are ahead. So until next week, I'm your narrator, reminding you to keep it happy.